Hello everyone. Today I am going to take up your second chapter from the book Vistas. The second chapter here is The Tiger King. It is written by Kalki. This story is actually a satire, and I'm sure you remember what satire is. Satire is a literary device where the writer criticizes the evils or the vices of a society or of a person through the use of humor. Or we can say the evils of a society or of a person are criticized in a very light-hearted manner, in a humorous manner. And this very story, it criticizes the conceit of those who are in power. The people who are in power, how they misuse their power for their own selfish motives. This kind of evil has been criticized in the story. Secondly, the chapter focuses on the careless and ruthless attitude of human beings towards nature, towards wildlife manner. So this story, The Tiger King, is also a kind of satire. It is full of irony also, and I'm sure you know what irony is. So with the passage of time, I'll discuss all these terms. Let's know first of all about the writer Kalki. Kalki is the pen name of the writer. His actual name was Ramaswamy Iyer Krishnamurthy. He was born on 9th September 1899. He died on 5th December 1954. He is better known by his pen name Kalki, and he was a Tamil writer. He was also a journalist, poet, critic, and Indian independence activist. He derived his pen name from the suffixes of his wife's name Kalyani and his name Krishnamurthy, and called himself Kalki. His name also represents Kalki Avatar, the 10th and last avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu. His writings include over 120 short stories, 10 novellas, 5 novels, 3 historical romances, editorial, political writings, and hundreds of films and music reviews. Now we will discuss about the summary. We have already known about the writer Kalki. When the king was born, the royal astrologer predicted that one day he must die. The 10-day-old baby amazed everybody when he replied, "O wise astrologer, we know that all must die. Tell me how I will die." So he wanted to know, this 10-day-old baby, he wants to know how he would die. This was quite amazing for everybody because a 10-day-old baby can never speak. But here, this was some special trait about this boy. Astrologer said, "The holy prince was born in the hour of the bull. The bull and the tigers are enemies. So the tiger will kill the bull, and ultimately the tiger king would be killed by a tiger." The prediction did not frighten the boy. He said, rather, "Let the tigers beware." So this 10-day-old baby, he was not frightened by the prediction of the astrologer, and he was not frightened of any of the tigers. Rather, he threw a challenge to all the tigers. When the prince comes of age, that means when he grows up, his upbringing was done in a very royal manner, very special manner. Let's see how. He drank the milk of an English cow. He was brought up by an English nanny. He was tutored by an English teacher. He watched only English films. So he was brought up in an English manner in all respects. When the prince grew up to the age of 20, he became the king of Pratibandhapuram state. Now, as the prediction had been made right in the beginning that he would be killed by a tiger, so what did he do to save himself? In his self-defense, what did the Tiger King do? He thought of the astrologer's prediction. He believed that the tiger was his enemy and he must kill him in self-defense. He went into the forest and killed his first tiger. He was happy. He proved the prediction wrong. So he sent for the royal astrologer. So he felt so happy, extremely happy when he killed the first tiger. The Tiger King wanted to prove the prediction of the astrologer wrong, so he called the astrologer and told him that he had killed the first tiger, but the astrologer stuck to his prediction. He said that the danger was yet not over. He told the Tiger King that he might kill 99 tigers like this, but the 100th tiger could prove really dangerous to him. That means he must be more cautious in his dealing with the 100th tiger. But the king, this Tiger King, as we know that he was the warrior of warriors, champion of champions, very brave and courageous king. Instead of getting scared, he decided then and there to kill 100 tigers before paying attention to the affairs of the state. He ignored all his responsibilities as a king, and he did not pay any attention to the state affairs. He proclaimed that no one would kill a tiger in his kingdom except him. He then killed quite a number of tigers in a few months. Killing tigers one after another had raised the confidence level of the king greatly. But one day, what happened? His throne was in risk. He was at the risk of losing his throne. How did it happen? One day, a British officer, high ranking British officer, visited Pratibandpuram. He wanted to go on a hunting expedition and kill a tiger and get himself photographed with the dead tiger. But the king, he refused permission. Even though the officer was not keen on killing, he only wanted to be photographed with a dead tiger. But the Maharaja did not agree even to this. This refusal could have cost the king his throne. So the story has been set in pre-independence time when India was under British rule. So it was not correct to offend any British officer for an Indian king. But this Tiger King, he had done the same thing. So now he could lose his throne as he had refused permission to a British officer. Now something was to be done to save his throne. Let's see, what did he do? The Diwan and the king discussed how they could save the throne. They asked a famous British company of jewelers in Calcutta to send 50 chosen samples of diamond rings. The rings were sent to the wife of the British officer. It was hoped that she would choose one or two, but she accepted them all as the king's gift. This cost the king 3 lakhs rupees, but the throne was safe at least. So the king had lost a huge amount of money, the amount of 3 lakh rupees, but the throne was saved, and he had been successful in pleasing the wife of the British officer by presenting her 50 diamond rings. In this way, his throne was saved. Now, another problem cropped up. The king had killed 70 tigers in his forest. Now, no tigers were left in his territory. So he decided to marry the daughter of a king whose forest had a large number of tigers. The Diwan found a state which had a large number of tigers and a marriageable daughter. Every time when the Tiger King visited his father in law, he could kill a few tigers. At last, he had killed 99 tigers in all. This way, he had finished tigers in his own kingdom and in the kingdom of his father in law also, and he had reached the count of killing 99 tigers. Now the search for the 100th tiger had started. The king could not find any alive tiger now, neither in his own forest nor in his father in law's. But he had to kill the 100th tiger to save his life. He learned that sheep were disappearing fast in a hillside village. It was presumed that there was a tiger on the hill. The king set up a camp there and decided not to leave until the mission was accomplished. But no tigers appeared. The king grew impatient and angry. He wanted to get the 100th tiger at any cost. Now it was his Diwan who was there always to help him out. So this Diwan provides the 100th tiger. The king expressed his displeasure to the Diwan. The Diwan felt that he might lose his job if the king did not get the 100th tiger. He had an old tiger hidden in his house, which he had brought from a zoo. At night, the Diwan and his old wife managed to get the tiger into their car. With great difficulty, they were able to push him out and leave him there. Next morning, the tiger was sighted. The tiger king came and shot it. The king was happy because he had accomplished his mission. He thought that he had now killed the 100th tiger. He ordered the tiger should be carried to his town in a great grand procession. But the hunters found that the tiger was alive. The king had missed his mark. The bullet had gone whizzing past the tiger's ear. This tiger had fainted with the shock because of the loud sound of the gun. But the hunters wanted to keep it a secret from the Maharaja, so they shot the tiger dead. They could not reveal the secret to the Tiger King because they could have been punished for it. So, in order to escape the wrath or the anger of the king, they did not reveal the secret to the king, and they themselves shot the tiger dead. So it means the tiger, this 100th tiger, it was not killed by the Tiger King. But unaware of this fact, the Tiger King was very happy as he thought he had killed all the 100 tigers. Now it was a day of celebration. The tiger was buried with honor and a tomb was raised over it. Now let's see what happened next. The king felt he was safe. After a few days, it was his son's birthday. King wished to give him a suitable present. He chose to give a wooden tiger toy. It was an ordinary toy carved by an unskilled, artist. It had slivers all over, spikes. So the shopkeeper said that it was worth 300 rupees, but the king took it away as a gift to his son. The king and his son were playing with the wooden tiger. Then suddenly what happened? A sliver, a spike pierced the king's hands. He removed it, but the infection developed into a terrible sore. 3 famous surgeons from Madras operated upon the king. At the end, the surgeons announced the operation was successful. The king is dead. How can an operation be successful when the king had already died? Ironically, the mighty, powerful king who had killed 99 tigers was killed by a wooden tiger. Thus, the king was metaphorically killed in the way it was predicted. But the irony here is that we had never expected in the beginning of the story that this tiger, this brave tiger, courageous tiger, Tiger King, he would be killed by a toy tiger. So this happened quite unexpectedly. We had never imagined this kind of end for the Tiger King. So this is what is irony. Although we had some idea right from the point when we knew that the 100th tiger had not been killed by the Tiger King himself, we knew that he's going to suffer for that, but he was not aware of that. So this shows that we readers were aware of the fact, but the Tiger King himself, he was not knowing this reality about the 100th tiger. So this is called dramatic irony. So this chapter, it contains dramatic irony. Ironically, the king has been killed by a toy tiger, which was quite unexpected by all of us. So this was all about the summary of the chapter. So we have 3 things here in the story. 1, the story as a satire. Second, it is full of humor. It is humorous in nature. When you will go through the chapter in detail for line to line thorough reading, you will find that there are so many humorous, funny incidents which will evoke your laughter. So the story is quite interesting because of that humorous element. Finally, we have noticed irony in the story. This irony part and satirical part, this humorous part of the story is very, very important from the point of view of your exams. So you must take note of these three literary devices, which are satire, irony, and humor, which have been used extensively in the chapter by Kalki the writer. Thank you very much. The exercises are to be solved. Wherever you encounter any problem, you can always contact me. Thank you.